Part 1 of 46 Division's plan to break through the German defences, covering the plan of attack and the different ideas the British had to break the German defences. A new advanced trench was to be dug on the nights of Thursday 22nd of June to Sunday 25th of June. The new trench was to shorten the distance between the two front lines by a third. The first wave would advance from this trench, with the following waves going from the old front line trench, support trench and so on. The trench was to be dug from the Gommecourt road to just before the Z. On the first night, digging lasted 2 hours, and luckily they weren't spotted or ignored by the Germans, so they suffered no major losses. A heavy thunderstorm on Friday 21st of June seriously flooded the trenches and caused a lot of damage. Due to the heavy storm, the advanced trenches were heavily flooded, so little digging could be done. To make matters worse, at 1 AM the Germans opened up with heavy shelling and machine gun fire. Further work was to be done on the nights of 24th and 25th, but the advanced trenches and the communication trenches linking them to the old front line in the main had not been dug deep enough and were half full of water and mud. 4 Russian saps were to be dug across no man's land by the 1st Battalion, the Monmouthshire Regiment. The plan was, after the attack had started, they would be turned into communication trenches across no man's land to join the old British frontline trenches to the new captured German trenches, which would make it easier and safer way to send across troops and going over the top. 2 saps were to be dug on each brigade front. In the area of 3rd Army, 7th Corps would have 46th Division attacking north of Gommecourt. 137th Brigade would advance on the right with 1st of the 6th South Staffordshire Regiment on the right and 1st of the 6th North Staffordshire Regiment on the left. They would set up a defensive position to the south along the Flume-de-Villes to Gommecourt Road, along Oxford's Trench and then along Fortress Trench. 139th Brigade would advance on the left with the 1st of the 5th Sherwood Foresters on the right and the 1st of the 7th Sherwood Foresters on the left. They would set up a defensive position along Foreigner, Fort and Font trenches and along Ouge Trench to the front line at the Little Sed. As the leading battalions advanced across no man's land, the follow-up battalions would move forward. Following the 1st of the 6th South Staffordshire Regiment would be the 1st of the 5th South Staffordshire Regiment. Following the 1st of the 6th North Staffordshire Regiment would be the 1st of the 6th North Staffordshire Regiment. Following behind the 137th Brigade would be the 1st of the 5th Leicester Regiment of the 138th Brigade. Following the 1st of the 5th Sherwood Foresters would be its B Company. Following the 1st of the 7th Sherwood Foresters would be its D Company. The rest of 139th Brigade would now follow. The 1st of the 6th Sherwood Foresters and then A, B and C companies of the 1st of the 8th Sherwood Foresters would follow. The follow-up battalions would now follow the leading battalions across no man's land. The 1st and the 2nd North Midlands Field Company Royal Engineers would be going across with 137th Brigade to help set up trench blocks and strong points. The 2nd of the 1st North Midlands Field Company Royal Engineers would be going across with 139th Brigade to help set up trench blocks and strong points. The capture of the first objective would be achieved after 30 minutes. During the attack, 2 companies of the 1st of the 1st Monmouthshire Regiment would open up the 4 Russian saps they dug during the preparations for the attack. From the old British front line to the German front line, the 1st of the 4th Battalion and Lincolnshire Regiment would move across and hold the front line. The second phase of the attack would see units of 139th Brigade advance up Field Trench to the junction of Indus Trench, where they would meet up with units of 56th Division. 11 defensive strong points would be set up against German counterattacks. In 139th Brigade's area, one at the Little Sed, lured by the junction of Font and the Ouge Trench, and lured by the junction of Font and Orinoco Trench. In 137th Brigade's area, one by the junction of Falconer and Fortress Trench, 1 along Fortress Trench, 3 along the eastern side of Gommecourt Wood, 1 along Oxford Trench, 1 at the junction of Fortress and Oxford Trench, and the last one at the junction of Field and Indus Trench. The bombardment of Gommecourt Village, Gommecourt Park and the Cairn Redoubt will continue for the next 3 hours. After 3 hours, units of 137th Brigade will advance and launch bombing attacks to capture Gommecourt Village from the north, with 56th Division attacking from the south. After the assault, 137th Brigade will dig a trench across no man's land to set up a defensive flank facing south. This is part 1 of a 3-part series on the attack plans of 46th Division on Saturday 1st of July. Part 2 is about the attack plan for the heavy artillery of the Royal Garrison Artillery and its bombardment of the German defences and its artillery around Gommecourt. If you would like to support the channel financially so that I can keep producing these films, you can do so by Patreon or PayPal, details in the description box. If you want to be informed when the next film will be coming out, please click on the subscribe button.